them will be revealed. Has this actually been given to Diddy? Has he been served?
He has not been served, is what it's sort of like the kids say, you've been served. And that's where it comes from. You have to be served with a lawsuit, which basically means just like you see on television, a process server goes and knocks on your door and says, Mr. Combs, you've been served. Here's a copy of the lawsuit. And then
What do you mean he haven't been served? What do that mean? Because he already locked up, so what do you mean he hasn't been served? I don't know. I don't know too much about the judicial system. I don't know.
they come back and they write a piece of paper. They put that.
So it sounds like to me that they're trying to say that he haven't got in trouble yet for some allegations. That's what it sounds like.
We served Sean Combs at the Manhattan Department of Correction. At this point in time, I gave him a copy of it, or I gave it to somebody at his residence who's allowed to accept service. As I mentioned to you earlier, our online federal filings show specifically when someone has been served or when they have answered. He hasn't been served yet. And it's hard to serve somebody who's in the Department of Corrections. It's really hard because you can't get to him. You just can't go in there and talk to Diddy and say, hey, man, I want to go see Diddy and see what he's doing. Can I give him some paperwork? It's harder than people think.
Sean.
I'm lost on all this junk. So what are they trying to say? Is he untouchable, or what are they trying to say, man? I don't know too much about this stuff, though. Lawyers got to look into this junk. I don't know what the heck they talking about, man.
Thank you so much for this today, and thank you for reading through an 87-page lawsuit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really appreciate this, and thank you for breaking it down for us. We'll see you very
I don't
soon.
know what the freak.
No problem. You have
All I know do a lot to freak up, and they talking about serving some papers. I get what he's saying though. Like you can't serve him. Normally they come to your door, your front door. He not in the place, but he can't even be near his front door. He in somebody else's house. He's inside one of the government's houses, not his own house.
Wonderful day.
If that makes sense.
Now, it seems like everybody is talking about RICO charges when it comes to the upcoming Diddy case. He's been accused of RICO on the federal side, and now we've just heard a civil lawsuit that accuses him of RICO there.
Shoot. Normally, when I think of when I hear RICO, is somebody slang a heavy dope. That's what I think of. I don't know what this RICO is right here. Maybe pimping. I don't know. That's probably what you're gonna be charged with next. Y'all see the office? That's where we at right now. We at work again, dawg. You know what I'm saying? Whole lot of staticking on my walkie-talkie. You know what I'm saying? Jesus is King forever. John 3:36. For life. You know what I'm saying? All kind of allegations. Shoot. John so bad, even Pastor Gino kind of brought it up. He didn't bring up exactly who was in trouble, what celebrity did this or was accused of that, but he was like, yeah, these superstars, they getting caught up left and right. So the Lord ain't playing. This all it is, though. Then get out my office, though. Oh, where we at? Oh, okay. What did it say? It says celebs named in lurid claims in lawsuit. Puffy denies it all. Puffy on trial with the BBC World Service. Let's take a little look. Let's take a little look into what's happening. It looks very ugly. I can't lie. It looks very freaking ugly. I can't really lie. What's this? What is this? Is this AI? The freaking bloody AI. Showing the children and
You in court on May 5th, charged with sex
My bad, I got lost with the accent. Let me switch to my normal accent.
trafficking, transportation for prostitution, and racketeering with conspiracy.
Oh,
He
damn.
denies all the charges.
You freaking right. Look, bro, you charged with all that. Whether you did it or you didn't do it, you gonna deny. You gonna deny and say, look, when it comes to me, none of that applies. Okay?
Today, we're going through an 80...
No matter how guilty you know you is, you just still gonna say, look, I ain't do none of that.
7-page civil lawsuit. It names
I'm just
celebrity
saying.
defendants, alleges trafficking over state lines, has a separate Michael Jackson element and accuses Diddy of RICO.
Michael Jackson, what he got to do with this? That man been not here, breathing for like what, since 2009ish. What the fuck?
By running a criminal enterprise, which the lawsuit terms the Diddy.
I know they ain't trying to say Michael was a pimp too, man. Come on, man. Go brush your shoulders off, man. Come on.
Cover-up enterprise. Diddy's team say no sane person reading this complaint can credit this story, and they're already suing the lawyer who filed this for $50 million over comments she made to the media.
Damn, he trying to get that 50 million back. Small businessman. Hey, he trying to get that 50 million back that he lost to that girl. That he used to date that girl. It's a good thing. Hey, he was smart from the beginning. People kept saying, hey man, he might as well marry her and all that. Ray, hold up, this hand you can't see my other hand. Ray, think that's gas money, Ray. Think. But anyway,
separate case. And then later, because everyone is talking about RICO on the federal side and the
at least she was able to get paid. She still got paid. Oh yeah, see that proof that boy.
civil side.
Man, the ghetto. Wait, wrong video.
Of things. We have crime historian Christian Cipollini telling us how this charge was tailor-made to take down the mob. Okay, first we're going to take a look at this civil lawsuit and our
wait, what?
Tailor-made to take down the mob. We have crime historian Christian Cipollini telling us how this charge was tailor-made to take down the mob. Okay.
That charge was made to take down the mafia? Oh, the mob? What? Damn. So that mean Puffy gang. They put it in our face. All the people may say, man, nah, you tripping, man. He ain't in no game. Bro, why charge him with something that's designed to take down a gang? That's what a mob is. That mean he's like the fall guy. Like Kenneth said, wow. He possibly the fall guy.
First, we're going to take a look at this civil lawsuit. And our resident criminal defense attorney, Sean Kent, is with me to listen and help me analyze what this all means. Hi, Sean.
Hey, how are you doing?
Right, so
man,
this
kid in a gang of pimps, bro.
lawsuit is long, 87 pages. So I appreciate you having
whole record. Wait, how do you call it? Whole recording industry, man. Allegedly, are pimping people, men and women.
Read and gone through all of it. There are multiple players, and
he was a gorilla pimp, which was stupid. But hey, it is what it is.
Taking place
now he caught.
We've contacted the people
mentioned some
in the lawsuit requesting a response to what's been alleged. Some people are not public figures and they haven't responded to these requests.
I wouldn't either. If it was me.
We're not naming them as we don't have a way of reflecting their side of the story.
I got nothing to do with it.
This is an amended lawsuit. So, Sean, that means one was filed first and now they've made changes to it, right?
I'd be living in Australia or
Correct.
something.
So that means the original lawsuit was filed on October 15th, 2024. And then, make sure I have the date exactly right. They went back on February 6, 2025 and asked the court permission to amend. And in their February 6th filing, they said, we have done more investigation and we need to add stuff to our complaint to make it more accurate.
So they've said that they've got new information and they refile. You might remember this lawsuit if you've been listening to the pod for a while. It's filed by Ariel Mitchell Kidd, so she's a lawyer who's being sued by Diddy currently in another case for defamation, and it's Ashley Parham's lawsuit. So when this was originally filed, there were other co-conspirators. Some were named and some were included as Jane and John Doe's. It alleged that on March 23rd, 2018, Ashley was gang raped and assaulted by Diddy and others. It's now been refiled to name co-defendants, add more claimants, and a lot more detail, a whole sort of second half of this lawsuit. I'm going to run through a few of the...
Conspiracy, huh? That's what the whole thing just might be, a conspiracy. Especially if you get out. That'll be your proof right there. That was all a conspiracy, man.
New additions. So...
on
page 17 of the lawsuit, it alleges that internet personality Druski doused plaintiff with more oil and lubricant and then
Wait! Whoa! Wait! Whoa! Doused. Normally when they use the word doused, they're talking about gasoline. Doused. What? Doused plaintiff with more oil and yeah, I ain't gonna repeat all that, and then jumped. Like how? Like the Trey Songz song say dive in. I can see dove in. Bitch, honestly, how the heck can you dive into a person, right? Unless they big as a house, you could try. I don't know. I'm lost. I don't know what the hell going on.
Plaintiff's body, treating it like a slip and slide. It then goes on to claim
A
that
slip
Druski
and slide.
begins vaginally raping plaintiff. Now we've heard
What? Damn, those some heavy allegations, kid. Kid might get those slavery numbers, bro.
before.
Bro, man.
So the use of language there.
I'm glad I'm poor at this point. I'm glad I'm poor and not famous.
Is that normal? It just.
And then some people say, well, you wouldn't have to worry about none of that unless you're guilty. Now, but most people say it's like, bro, you ain't in the freaking industry. You don't know how anything goes. That guy probably had nothing to do with anything. Bro, come on, bro. You really gonna trust that industry? That's what you're telling me. If you believe everything they put in front of you, I mean, that's telling me that you trust that industry. That's what I don't trust it. So hey, I don't trust it because hey, I'm not in it. I don't trust nothing they put on TV. That's a Truman Show to me. It's just a show. That's all I see it as. It's just a show. Just like if Kid get out tomorrow, people be surprised, jaw drop. Like, not me. I'm just gonna be like, just part of the show. Welcome to showbiz, Kid.
It is, and trust me, I've looked at a lot of lawsuits. 87 pages is insane.
Damn.
It's a very lengthy lawsuit.
You know what that sounds like to me? Sounds like it sounds like he's in a gang that got like 87 people. And he took their charges. No, that sounds like to me.
Chose to file their lawsuit. But the language is oddly specific, and you usually don't see that. And it's not necessary.
But hey, maybe he's guilty of all that. Maybe he's guilty. But hey, most people, they don't even want to think that it's possible for him not to be guilty. They don't even want to think that. Me, I don't think too much into it, but I do think it's a possibility that he's probably been set up. Like, hey, industry strange as heck. The whole Michael Jackson thing was strange. Whitney Houston thing was strange. And man, all this stuff is strange. Very strange, bro. Nipsey Hussle thing. Man, this goes on and on, bro. All this are strange. Strange. It's like I'm watching a freaking sci-fi show. This is not even normal. Like, the figure.
That's the biggest thing. It's superfluous.
It's like abnormal.
It's just additional for sensationalism. I don't know why that language is necessary. What does it help prove or not prove? So no, I'm not used to
that
stuff like
strange,
that
man.
Druski has responded publicly.
10 tossy on all that strange.
We haven't heard back from him in the request we sent, but he said online, this allegation is a fabricated lie.
Might
I wasn't
be
a public figure in 2018. I was broke living with my mum without any connections to the entertainment industry at the time of this allegation. So the inclusion of my name is truly outlandish. My heart breaks for actual victims of abuse, but I'm fully confident that the evidence will expose this falsehood and the individuals who are maliciously trying to game the legal system to peddle false narratives.
They are today. That's why it's so hard to really go along with what they're saying. Because the whole, you can't really say it. I looked it up the other day. You can't even say it. Starts with an M, ends with the word to. That movement, like, bruh. They're going hard out here, man. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to bring their team to win. They're trying to get the W, man. You know that?
He's not the only celebrity name that's mentioned. So also on page 17, it alleges that, quote, at some point during this...
So, what is it? At some point, referring to another Cornelius. Who the fuck is that?
Ordeal, plaintiff remembers the defendant referring to another doe as Cornelius.
And
remembered the name because it was odd and unique. Plaintiff has come to discover the defendant who raped her was defendant Odell. So that's Odell Beckem.
Oh, they got him too?
Whose middle name is Cornelius.
Oh, know.
It becomes clearer later on in the lawsuit that they allege
She know his whole government. He about to get slavery numbers, bro. If you don't watch
that
it.
people are using their middle names as code
Ooh.
names. Now, we asked him for
That dumb as heck. Why would you use your middle name as a fake name or as a what they call it, a street name? Dumb as heck, bro.
a statement,
Dumb as
and
heck.
he hasn't responded to us.
Whoever idea this was, bro, y'all wasn't thinking. Y'all
He
wasn't
has put
thinking,
one
bro.
out publicly saying, I have been informed of the allegations about me in a suit.
Matter of fact, even stepping foot in that house, that's if this is true. Stepping foot in that house, you just. And I know they heard the rumors before they stepped into the house. They still step into the house. Man, I keep rolling. If somebody tell me, oh, if I was on my way up, you know what I'm saying? All day way up, nothing can stop me. Something like that. And they tell me, oh, that's such and such house. I'm like, hey, driver, man, keep driving. They're like, you sure that's not the destination? I'm like, no, I keep driving, bruh. The fick? They ain't about to pull me in the edge. I don't care what celebrity it is either. At this point, it's too risky out here. And then what they'll say, oh, it ain't even that deep. They just did what they did. I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I wouldn't trust nothing. I guess I'll fall off real quick. If I came up, I'll fall off real quick. Cause I won't trust no parties at all. I just wouldn't trust it. They'd be like, man, you need to go up in there, man. You'll get some networking. You need to get some networking done, man, so you can move up the ladder. For real. I'm like, man, nah, bro. You said it's a party? Nah, yo, man, it's just a wine and a cheese party, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of producers there. You know what I'm saying? Writers. You know? All kind of people, man. You might need them. You know what I'm saying? You might need them. You probably need to get their numbers or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I know they looked out for me. I think they could do the same for you, man. You know, I got 3 million subscribers now. You got 1. I'd be like, look, homie, I ain't even trying to diss you. I'm just trying to help you. That's all. I'd be like, you right, though. You right. I do got 1. Sometimes all you need is 1. No, I'm just playing. Hey, just in case you watched it this far, though, you know, don't forget to hit subscribe, though. You know what I'm saying? Hook me up with that. Look out for me, man. Come on, man.
California.
Come on, man. Don't do me like
I
that.
really
Come on,
can't
man.
believe that my name is mentioned in that matter. There is absolutely no truth to those allegations.
That's
I
ugly.
do not know and have never met the person that filed the suit. I was not anywhere near Orinda, California at that time. In fact, I don't think I've ever been to Orinda, California. I have never done anything like that, and I would never do anything like that to anyone. I'm confident that these ridiculous claims against me will be dismissed.
Yeah, you better hope so, homie. And even if you are, I don't know why some people just don't question it. They never question it. They go along with everything the news say. I'm like, bro, if they said somebody's guilty, why do you automatically assume they're guilty as well? Just because the news said so, bro? You know they can lie on you too if they wanted to. It's just, it ain't much money they get out of you, so they're not going to do it to an everyday person. Like, I ain't saying they are lying on these guys, but it's a possibility. It's a possibility,
I'm
dog.
not saying that it sounds
don't
like Druski and OBJ were kind of blindsided by the lawsuit, and the first they saw of it was on social media. So do we assume
Yeah, that's
that they
ugly.
haven't
That's
been made
ugly.
aware before this was like filed?
That's like having unprotected fornication, right? Then you find out on the news that you've been affected. You like, what the heck?
Normally, like,
That's
I would be
big up.
guessing, but in this situation, I agree that they would have been blindsided. And then if you look at the online filings, our federal system requires everything to be filed specifically online. There's nowhere in the federal filings that show that either of these two individuals have been served or given a copy of the actual lawsuit or answered
I wonder why,
the
man.
actual lawsuit. So I'm assuming they found out when everybody else found out, which is crazy if you think about it.
Yeah,
The amended lawsuit continues
that's
in a
weird.
similar way to the original lawsuit filed in October of 2024. However, there is a difference. So it alleges after Ashley Parham has experienced sexual abuse, sexual assault, and gang rape, she manages to escape, goes to a neighbor's house, and then a police officer turns up who she believes is with the Contra Costa County Sheriff's Department. But now in the news...
What the freak is this? I just realized what it say on their microphone. What the freak? Look at this. Those his ops. Oh, yo, that's his opposition. Look at this on the microphone. I'm just gonna say Puffy. Puffy on trial podcast. They made a podcast out of this? Who he beefing with, bro?
Filed version, she says she knows this person to be
That's
one of the
crazy.
co-defendants called John.
I hope I never make nobody that angry at me, bro. They make a whole podcast on me spiraling downward. Like, what the fuck? Like an air fighter out of the sky.
Pelletier. Now he is
After being jumped, by the way. I'm the one last guy on my Air Force team. It's like 6 other planes coming my way shooting me. Right? My junk going down. I'm like, Mayday, Mayday. You know what I'm saying? People around the world clapping and cheering. I'd be like, what the fake? Imagine if I can hear it. I can hear them clapping and cheering. I'd be like, what the fake?
an actual police
That'll hurt.
officer, but was not with Contra Costa County Sheriff's Department. So he was posing as someone from there, the lawsuit alleges. And
that's
offered
real
her
beef.
no assistance and basically told her to go home after she says, you know, I've been brutally raped by Diddy and a bunch of other people. John Pelletier is a police
Whoa, a bunch of other people. Damn, some of them dudes might be Satanists. If that really did happen, bro, if that really did happen like that, damn, these guys gotta be Satanists. They gotta be. Satanists do that, John.
Is now the current chief of Maui Police in Hawaii. The police department sent this response on his behalf. Chief Pelletier has no connection whatsoever to any individuals named in the lawsuit. The allegations suggesting his involvement are entirely unfounded. We are confident that the evidence will demonstrate these claims to be false and will expose those who are deliberately trying to manipulate the legal system to spread misleading narratives. In 2018,
So maybe they ain't lying.
while serving as a captain in Las Vegas, Chief Pelletier was honored by the Rape Crisis Center for his exceptional leadership and commitment to community safety, specifically through his role as champion of the Stay Safe program dedicated to sexual assault prevention. These baseless allegations not only harm Chief Pelletier, but also show a lack of respect for victims of abuse whose voices deserve to be heard and supported with compassion.
The reason why things like this is even happening is that movement. Because that movement I brought up, that movement, I cannot really say it, because like I said, I can't really say, you know, the name of it. It starts with an M and ends with the word two. So that, and I forget the name of the other organization. I forget what they call it. Just movements like that, man. That what makes people so skeptical. They look at this junk like the boy who cried wolf, and not wolf, but wolf. You get what I mean, man? Like, that's why it's, hey, that's what cats ain't quick to say it's true. They ain't quick to do it these days. They ain't really quick to do it. Yeah, they joke about it on the internet. They joke. The only thing they do is joke, though. You know what I'm saying? That's all I see it as, is a bunch of people joking. None of them people serious about anything. And they're so serious, they'll help track this guy down. Like, man, they ain't all that serious. They joking. So all they doing is throwing jokes around. Joke ain't even funny either. And half the time it won't even be funny. Bunch of weird jokes at that. They got to do with sodomy. Like, what the fuck?
And integrity.
These motherfuckers deviants in their mind.
What's interesting about that is, like,
They mind freaked up.
Research and looking at it, like I want to make sure I say their names right. The Contra, whatever. That police department specifically said, we looked into it and there was no merit to this situation. So this goes into a different type of level of potential cover up. That's wild. Just based upon these allegations. I'm not saying they're true or not true, but the Contra Police Department said, we did get this allegation. We did look into it and we discounted it and said there was nothing there. Do you know how strong that is for a police department to come in and say that a rape did not happen when someone says it did? So that's...
Oh, man. Shoot. Either it did not happen or he paying them boys off. I don't know. Damn.
It's fascinating to me because usually police departments don't do that.
Yeah, so Ashley Parham did file a police report. That is on record. They did.
Wow.
They claim investigate it. I have spoken.
And then what's crazy about it, if she found to be a liar, I'm not saying she is one, but if she is found out to be a liar, bro, they're gonna let her off the hook like nothing ever happened. Most likely that's what's gonna happen. They gonna let off the hook. They'll let off the hook.
To them, they said the same thing.
That's like fishing, right? You catch one of the biggest fish in the freaking lake, right? You just let it go. The fish
investigated this, and it was
your stomach growling while you're doing this.
It was unfounded. So these things are included in this lawsuit, in the amended lawsuit. They're also included in the original filing, and it only gets more. I don't know what word to use. Dramatic. It gets more layered as it goes on, because there's a second half of this amendment with two new plaintiffs, a Jane Doe and a John Doe, who are described as being a mother and son. And it says that, quote, plaintiffs John and Jane Doe met with defendant Diddy, so they previously knew him, through their connection in the music industry, as plaintiff John Doe was a previous plaintiff against Michael Jackson for sexual assault as a minor.
What? Who is this person?
They're in the industry, or they're connected to the industry, so that's put in there as context, background for who this Jane and John Doe are. They claim to have been trafficked by Pelletier and other co-defendants on the lawsuit from Vegas to California, passing through...
Don't tell me it's that one girl, bro, that claiming to be Tupac's daughter. And they been said she was lying. I don't know, though. I don't know, maybe, hey... I never heard about Tupac having no daughter, bro. His daddy never said. I don't think I seen his dad say anything about it either. You know the dad would know, right? Like, come on now. I mean, it's not guaranteed, because sometimes you don't know things about your son, especially if they live in a wild life. But still, I think the dad would know if he had a granddaughter, like from that particular child of his, you know, Tupac. But I don't know.
Series of what they term safe houses.
I don't know what to say.
And on page 31 of the lawsuit, it says, quote, it was apparent to plaintiffs this was a professional operation syndicate. They
what? That sounds like organized crime, yo.
Talk about a list of houses or locations that they believe were safe houses that they could be moved to.
What the freaking GTA? Safe houses?
So, like you say, this turns it into something else, because this is crossing state lines, talking about places they could be moved to. They are held at gunpoint, they claim. They are.
Bro, and that's how they get people in the country. That's why I heard. I heard they get people in the country the same way, through safe houses and junk. You know what I'm saying? From this guy to that guy. From this guy to that guy. And each time the person is getting paid off. I don't know what to say, man.
Put into the back of SUVs and moved around the country. Bro. That's a huge allegation.
It is huge.
Motherfucker not even dealing. He ain't even dealing dope. He dealing. Shoot, I don't know what he was saying. And I don't want the computer to pick up the wrong word.
Because people do get confused, because the civil allegation in here is similar to the federal criminal allegations against Diddy. It's the same one. It's RICO. And people get confused that, wait, what do you mean you can have a RICO civil charge and a RICO criminal charge? But that's exactly what they
I don't know what that even is.
Using this corrupt organization to cover up the allegations, cover up Diddy's actions, that he is the leader of this RICO organization, and sort of like these two...
leader. Last time I saw, you know what I'm saying? Last time I saw somebody with black skin, a leader, it was Blade. Like, who? Leader? Oh, Black Panther. Okay, I guess. Was he even? I heard he wasn't even a leader. I heard the females that was on his team was leading that jump. I heard they was kicking butt, whereas he was getting his butt kicked. I never even saw it before. That's just what I heard. I never really seen it. See, Blade, the only one I can confirm is like the leader and kicking butt, taking names, all that. But hey, I don't know what the fake. That's why I can't really take it too serious. Leader, him. If he was a leader, he'll be above the freaking law. He locked up right now. But hey, I could be wrong about everything. I don't know what I'm talking about, to be honest. These people, they know more about it than me, man. You know what I'm saying? This guy, I think, is a lawyer or something. And the lady is probably a lawyer too. I don't know.
And that this organization is...
Shoot, I got my certificate off the motherfucking the internet. Using my own printer. No, I'm just playing.
Created to cover up this cavalcade of indiscretions that Diddy is doing, and that's the whole point of this organization, and that's the lawsuit. So it's wild if you think about it.
You really think he could cover that? Okay. What'll make me think he's covering it up is if somehow his net worth dropped to 300 million. Then I'd be like, yeah, he spent a lot of money trying to cover this up.
Yeah.
If his net worth keep getting higher and higher, I'm gonna be like, bro, no, I don't believe nothing y'all saying. Okay.
Up left, right, and centre. Later on in the program, we're talking to a crime historian who sort of does the history of how it started with the mob and what was going on.
That's crazy.
How it was almost like tailor-made to take down the mob, and now we're seeing it leveled against Diddy. And what is described here?
They really trying to say this. They indirectly trying to say this guy is the leader of a mob. What freaking mob, bro? I mean, it's possible, but nah, I don't think he the leader of nothing. I mean, he a leader of something, but he's sub-boss. He ain't no freaking final boss. Heck no. I don't believe it.
Part of the lawsuit
Heck no.
Is a cover-up. They talk about going to these houses
he's like, bro, it's billionaires around the world that make him look poor. And you think he the final boss in something. Man.
Sort of it being strange that when they're screaming for help, neighbors weren't coming outside and people weren't getting involved. The neighbors come out and they hear gunshots and then they don't call the police. So they're trafficked, they claim, alleged by multiple different people on their journey to.
Damn, so I guess they all in on it. Then it's like that movie Get Out, bro. They was not about to call the police at all. His homeboy, who works at the freaking PSA or something. You know, the guy that kind of sound like T-Pain. He had to pull up. And the only reason he pulled up there to the scene is because he knew something had went wrong. He knew his homie got kidnapped and all that. It's just like that neighborhood, bruh. On Get Out. They weren't gonna tell nothing. And they heard all that junk. They heard gunshots, car crashes. They heard all that. But nah. They weren't gonna say anything, bro. Not in that neighborhood. Nah. They was all in on it. Probably just like this.
Trafficking them, they recognize because, quote, this person had also filed a lawsuit against superstar singer Michael Jackson in 2005 and filed a creditor's claim against the Jackson estate upon his untimely demise in 2009.
But who is this person?
John Doe, the mother and son, have filed a lawsuit against Jackson.
Nah, who is this person, bro? How is this person? Why does they keep winding up with celebrities? Who is this person? And they ain't gonna never tell us who it is. The internet gonna most likely find out before they even, man.
And filed a creditor's claim against.
Cause they acting like they don't know. They know exactly who this is that's doing this.
Upon his untimely demise in 2009. Jane and John Doe, the mother and son.
This person probably the Fed. Like who is this person, bro? They probably the Fed or some junk, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think it's a straight Fed either. I think it's a crooked Fed. Like whoever it is, like that's what I think.
Filed a lawsuit against Jackson. Now they're claiming that one of the people who's trafficking them
I question all this
state lines has also filed another lawsuit against Michael Jackson. They then claim that they eventually end up in the location where Ashley Parham, our original plaintiff, claims she was being assaulted. They claim to
who is that?
The assault. If you remember from the first time we covered this, it's extremely graphic.
I don't feel like looking it up.
The John Doe also claims that Diddy tried to force him to rape Parham, and he says as an explanation.
Wait, who did?
Claims that Diddy. It's extremely graphic. The son, the John Doe, also claims that Diddy.
The son? Who's son? Diddy's son or somebody else's son? Puff Jr. or somebody else? I don't know. I really don't know.
Force him to rape Parham, and he says as an explanation of why this might be, quote, Plaintiff John Doe believes defendant Diddy wanted plaintiff to rape plaintiff Parham so they could frame him in the event plaintiff Parham reported her assault. Okay, all the pieces are coming together and he's there to potentially
that seemed like that might have went down like that. Probably. Who knows? But then how you frame somebody, your DNA probably there too. The fuck? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they know more about it than me.
But one thing I don't understand with this, and it says it
this is crazy
times throughout the lawsuit, plaintiff so-and-so believes this. Plaintiff so-and-so believes that.
You can bring a lawsuit for anything, any reason you want. Usually the phrase that we use is upon information and belief. And there's two types of evidence. There's direct evidence and there's circumstantial evidence. Direct evidence is eyewitness testimony, actual facts, DNA, things of that nature.
That's all I'm talking about.
Direct evidence. This person saying that
they substantial?
Saw something
What's that?
would be direct evidence. This person saying that they witnessed something would be direct evidence.
Okay.
I believe.
What's that substantial? What's that?
Circumstantial evidence, but it ain't coming into court. So the entire reason it is to make this complaint completely more sensational because it's not necessary, as mentioned. When you look at these lawsuits, what ends up happening is when they get a copy.
Bruh, what the heck is circumstantial evidence? What's that?
Of it, you have to answer it. And when you answer a lawsuit,
yes, you have to answer this, just like you just said. What is circumstantial evidence? What is that?
You can only do really three things. You can admit,
Bruh.
so they can go through and admit each line of the paragraph. They can say, I admit that Druski was there. They can admit it. They can deny it, or they can say, we have no knowledge. That's it. It's admit, deny without knowledge. So
how about the person say, I wasn't there at all?
So that's why a lot of this lawsuit doesn't make any sense.
Is they free to go?
So when Diddy is answering this lawsuit, a lot of it's going to be deny it or without knowledge. Deny or without knowledge. I don't know if he sued Michael Jackson without knowledge. So it's a weird lawsuit.
One last
so it's a he.
From the lawsuit.
Whoever this person is, that's sued Michael.
It's a
he.
Jane Doe was forced to sign documents while her son's been taken elsewhere and allegedly forced to participate in the rape of Miss Parham. The mother, Jane Doe, was forced to sign documents that, quote, plaintiff believes the documents were related to creditors' claims plaintiffs had against the Michael Jackson estate.
How is Michael Jackson naming this, bro? The dude passed, bro. This is crazy. That's my boy. Cats want to continue chasing fame these days, bro. Like, I'm good, bro. I mean, if I get a little bit of clout, you know what I'm saying? Might help my pockets out. You know, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a touch of love. A little bit. Just a little bit. You know, just a little bit. These fools got too much, man. They got too big for their britches. Oh, man. That is all tumbling down. When it all comes down. You know that Kanye West song?
The narrative of why they would have been trafficked from Las Vegas to
That's
this
ugly.
location to sign these documents about Michael Jackson and potentially frame the son during this
whose son, bro?
Sexual assault of
whose son is this
woman, Ashley Parham. However, it leaves a lot of unanswered questions, like what is the creditor claim? What does it have to do with the Jane and John Doe? There's a lot of moving parts and a lot of different people. And we asked Diddy's team about this, and they addressed pretty much all of it. They said this new complaint brought by an attorney has already been sued for defaming Mr. Combs. So we've told you about that. It's a $50 million lawsuit against the attorney who filed this to do with Courtney Burgess and claiming to have seen.
Sure, if they suing for that much, whoever this person is must have paper. They must have paper. I thought it was beefing with people that didn't have paper. That's what I thought. But I don't know. I guess it's like I guessed before. I was already guessing this in my head. I was like, is he beefing up with other rich people? Gotta be, bro. Why sue for that much? He beef. It's rich. Hey, this rich on rich crime. Shoot. People who believe in race, they always say, "Yo, black on black crime, white on white crime." No, this rich on rich crime right here. Aristocrat versus aristocrat. That got nothing to do with us.
Tapes with minors on News Nation. They go on to say this demonstrates the depraved lengths plaintiffs will travel to garner headlines in pursuit of a payday. Mr. Combs was nowhere near Orinda, California on the day Miss Parham claims she was assaulted there, and the Contra Costa Sheriff's Department has already confirmed Miss Parham's claims were determined to be unfounded following a thorough investigation. In an attempt to salvage her claims following the investigation, debunking them, Miss Parham has now invented an even wilder narrative, alleging a vast and facially implausible conspiracy between law enforcement, local civilians, and media industry players. Her far-fetched tale contains it all: fake cops, cash bribes, and an alleged victim of the late Michael Jackson, who was purportedly kidnapped across state lines and forced to, quote, sign paperwork at gunpoint, close quote, while shepherded through a web of safe houses.
Sign that paperwork at gunpoint? Shoot. That sounds like what the industry do with some of them rappers that want to leave. I mean, hey, allegedly. I mean, hey, just what I be hearing. Hey, I don't know, man. Could be all lies. Maybe it never happened like that, but hey. That's how they make it seem sometimes. You watch these conspiracy channels and junk, you know what I'm saying? I don't count as one. I'm just thinking about junk. Thinking about nothing sometimes, but then thinking about other stuff. At the same time, thinking about nothing at all, you know? I'm a pea brain, you know? Can't take
No
me
sane
serious.
person reading this complaint can credit this story. Mr. Combs looks forward to having his day in court, where these lies and the perverse motives of those who told them will be revealed. Has this actually been given to Diddy? Has he been served?
He has not been served, is what it's sort of like the kids say, you've been served. And that's where it comes from.
You got
have to
served
be
as edge, man.
served with a lawsuit, which basically means, just like you see on television, a process server goes and knocks on your door and says, Mr. Combs, you've been served. Here's a copy of the lawsuit. And then they come back and they write a piece of paper. They put out an affidavit that we served Sean Combs at the Manhattan.
I guess that means that they just caught him off guard with the whole arrest thing, which is weird. Like, what did they think he was gonna do if they served him papers? They thought he was gonna flee the country. I mean, possibly, right? Possibly. But it ain't like they weren't gonna catch him. They was gonna catch him anyway. But I guess it's probably a better idea, because if they didn't do it like this, he probably would have got in the way. You know what I'm saying? And now they got him now.
Manhattan Department of Correction. At this point in time, I gave him a copy of it, or I gave it to somebody at his residence who's allowed to accept service.
Word?
As I mentioned to you earlier, our
Who'd they give it to?
online federal filing
Tell us
shows
that.
specifically when someone has been
Bet
served
you won't.
or when they have answered. He hasn't been served yet.
See, I bet they ain't gonna tell us who it was. Tell us who they gave the paperwork then to. Tell us. Y'all probably picked up on y'all job in some type of way. They can't even tell us who they gave it to. Ooh, nobody was home, huh? Nobody was home. What, you left it on his front door still? Oh no, he had already moved by then, probably.
Hard to serve
Motherfucker
somebody
moving like the drug lord.
in the
I don't know.
corrections. It's really hard because you can't get to him. You just can't go in there and talk to Diddy. and
Well,
say,
you can't
"I wanna
now.
Go see Diddy and see what he's doing.
I mean, you can now. You can. You know what I'm saying? Just sign up for visitation like everybody else. Or do it not work like that?
Can I give him some paperwork? It's harder than people think.
Sean,
Act
thank
like
you
it's
so
hard.
much
Man, that
for
junk
this
ain't no
today.
hard. I don't
Thank
believe
you
that
for
junk
reading through
hard.
an 87-page
Y'all can come.
lawsuit.
Y'all can go see him right now if y'all want
But
to.
yeah, I really appreciate this, and thank
And
you for
talk to
breaking
him
it
about
down
this
for us.
stuff.
We'll see you very soon.
Who's stopping
No
you?
problem. You have a wonderful day. Thank you for having me.
Now, it seems like everybody
it.
is talking about RICO charges when it comes to the upcoming Diddy case. He's been accused of RICO on the federal side, and now we've just
So,
heard
yeah, he's
a civil
screwed.
lawsuit that accuses him of RICO there. Joining me now
He
is
might get
crime
50
historian
years.
Christian Cipollini, who
That
is
boy about to get slavery numbers, but slavery.
going to tell us how this charge came to be and how it was used to tackle the mob. Hi, Christian.
Hi, Anushka. Thanks for having me.
So speaking of Christian, Jesus is King.
Check this out. I'm going to show
John 3:36.
you how I
John 14:6.
afforded this car.
1 John 3:10.
Okay, you ready? All right, $118 for car insurance. That's how much I was paying. Okay?
That's a
I
lot,
picked up the car a
especially
few
for
months ago
me.
and watch this. Ready? $97 premium.
Sure.
$20 were my fees. $118. Now I covered up my private information,
Sure. I
guys.
prefer to buy a freaking refrigerator than to buy that. Come on.
Before we understand kind of the genesis of RICO, we need to look at what the United States was like before that, and they was facing a particular problem with the mob and mafia. How big of an issue was that?
It was a big enough issue in the 20th century that by the 1950s, the United States Senate decided to have some hearings into related racketeering, antitrust kind of things. The problem was you had law enforcement agencies like the predecessor to the DEA, the Bureau of Narcotics, was aware of organized crime, Italian, Jewish, etc.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
the FBI, led by J.
They're working
Edgar
together.
Hoover, was sort of in denial
Most
until
likely.
the late 1950s,
Shoot, I'd have did it. I'd have probably did it. If I was around back then, shoot. They're talking about, hey, we need more hands in this. I don't know, probably not. I probably thought to myself, man, they want me to be the fall guy. I ain't getting in this.
1960s. When you have this disjointed kind of federal legal issue dealing with something that most people knew was the
They
element.
might be like, look, man, I'll pay you. Well, what was that? They just said the 1950s. In those days, they'd be like, look, we'll pay you $1,000 per week. And I'd be like, $1,000 per week? In the 1950s, way more money than it is today. I'd be like, I'll take it. Like an idiot. Then I wind up on the other row or some job.
in the room. The mob does exist. But what the mob
It's still here.
did in the United
I heard the Romans are still here. Even after their empire fell, I heard they're still around. They're still around and stronger than ever. Why is they stronger than ever? Because they're hidden in plain sight, is what I heard, allegedly.
States, particularly from 1920s through the 1960s, is they ran everything that was illegitimate and a lot of legitimate businesses.
That's how you do it.
Yes, you have gambling.
That's how you do it.
Prostitution, narcotics.
All
but
that.
Then they also had.
Who wanted with us?
Really, the
1980s,
early 90s.
We run the streets
of legitimate businesses like
we run the streets.
Disposal was a big one.
We fight with paperwork. We don't fight with fists. We run it.
And where was the epicenter of
you don't want to mess with us.
Large network?
They be like, who is us? I don't know.
City. Where the 5 families, as they were dubbed, the 5 main mafia families.
5? Word? Who are they? Who are they?
Families.
Name them.
But the mob was
I bet you can't.
So big and extensive. You had
you probably made it up.
Groups that ran the show, and then you had
who are they then?
Associates spread all over the place. So it was the elephant in the room. Everybody knew there was a mobster on every other corner.
Okay.
You wanted to call them that.
Just name at least 1 or 2 of them.
Influence economically and socially.
What's their last names?
In the United States, it's become almost Americana, a little bit of the fabric of the United States. So the federal government looked at this as an issue.
This whole thing, they just be throwing allegations left and right, not naming no names, bro. At least name 2 names, at least. Like, come on, man.
Making money, and there were bad.
All this junk might be made up, man. Come on, man.
So if it's such a widespread, well, it's accepted, like you say, almost part of the fabric of the country itself, was there official complicity then in some of the ongoings on?
This is fact. You cannot operate on a multi-million-dollar level, talking about, decades ago, and that would be billions if they were doing it, but multi-million-dollar level, you cannot successfully operate at that level unless you have people in your pocket that are in politics.
Facts. I was gonna say that.
High up in business organizations.
No freaking way.
End. So yes,
sure. Even back then, he's trying to make it seem like back then you didn't need those guys. You needed them. You needed their help back then. Cause when they find you, you was gonna rot behind prison. You was gonna rot right in there. Like, come on. It was a matter of time before they find you. But don't get me wrong, it's probably way harder to get caught back then. Yeah. But I'm guarantee most of the people got caught. I think they did.
It's not a conspiracy. This actually happened. I mean, it is conspiracy, but not conspiracy theory. You cannot operate on that level unless you have that. Gangsters
we know that.
Are opportunists. An opportunity arises. Take a prohibition in the United States. They took away alcohol. They
need to do that again.
Swooped in. And it was the same with narcotics. There's some denial that the mafia didn't deal drugs in the United States. I can assure you, yes, they did. It followed right in the footsteps of alcohol prohibition.
Who lied like that? I mean, I guess they probably lied. You know what I'm saying? They ain't trying to get 20 years, 30 years. So they going to say, nah, we got nothing to do with that. That wasn't us.
Around the same time. But yes, prostitution, gambling.
That was them.
Extortion, loan sharking, basically charging high interest to give a loan to somebody that can't get it from the bank. So,
hey, every time, something too expensive to get access to, you can find a ghetto version of it. There you go, loan shark. Bank don't want to give you a loan shark. Let's go to the loan shark. Which is probably a really bad idea, but hey, that's what people do.
What happens, though, when you become...
I would know that is a bad idea. Because I was a loan shark on GTA Vice City Stories. For whoever played that. When you play that on certain missions, you become a loan shark. And you're not very pleasant to be around when people owe you money.
organization.
But you gotta do what you gotta do to beat the game. I'm not proud of what we had to do, but I wanted to complete the game, okay? So I'm not proud of it though.
Large that conducts most of its business
Lord, please forgive me.
in the shadows. You can't call the police if something happens. You have to police yourself. So what does that create?
That's how I be.
Murder and mayhem.
Damn.
Hence the dark, bloody side of the mob in America.
Street
How do you
justice,
police
basically.
your own organization?
Yep.
By violence.
That's what they do.
Essentially.
That's what they do.
So then when you're talking about,
Sad
when
stuff.
you think about RICO, it was an answer
devil's plan.
to the inability to get the people at the top. Why was it difficult to take down the bosses if you know who the fine families are, if you know who the mobsters are?
Well, you're working with them.
Way you pointed that out, because
Who gonna take these guys out when you making money with them? The fuck? That's like poking a hole in your own pocket.
federal government wasn't inept. They understood, at least certain departments.
These same guys, I guarantee, helped pay for some of these guys' campaigns when they ran for president. Why would they freaking get these dudes arrested? They working with these guys, bro.
Well,
look, as my man said on Deep Cover, the money don't know where it comes from, okay? Now you take it.
where some people are in charge,
That's all,
and
man.
some are the minions.
That's all.
But the problem is,
It'd be hard for me to turn it down. What? If I was in that motherfucker in the mix, I think I'll turn it down though, man. Cause I ain't trying to get no motherfucking slavery numbers in prison. Hell no.
insulation. Setting
Hell
up any
no.
kind of an organization, you insulate your CEOs, your CFO from, potential lawsuits, like in legitimate business, from danger. That's what the mob did. When you made it through the ranks in the hierarchy, you were afforded certain protections. Other people were
So they served as people's bodyguards. Makes sense.
for you. It's almost like if you
Don't rappers do that with gangbangers? They pay them to be their bodyguards and job.
signed up for this job, you were a street level soldier.
Same stuff.
And to your point, the government was having a very difficult time getting the guys they knew were calling the shots down the hierarchy.
I'm assuming then there's a pretty strong code of like,
I doubt
if you
that.
get caught, you don't snitch because then something will happen to you.
But that too, yeah.
Sure. The Sicilians, 2 centuries ago, really came up with this kind of existential concept of omerta.
Figures that.
People have different definitions of it, but basically it means you take care of things yourself or within your group. You don't speak to law enforcement. You don't snitch on somebody, rat them out. That stuck with almost every organized crime group in the United States.
Basically,
didn't matter
yeah.
what ethnicity or if you were part of the mob.
They all doing Satan's work, boy. You know it.
Rule was, you get caught, you take that.
You said the epicenter
Basically,
is New York,
yeah.
right? And we've got these 5 families.
Cause the whole organization gonna fall if somebody snitch.
Who are these 5 families?
The 5 family structure was born in 1931 when the Young Turks, as they were called, Lucky Luciano, Meyer Lansky, guys like that, Al Capone in Chicago.
Yeah, all them dudes
they
crazy.
all came up together and they thought, why do all these Sicilians,
those guys are nutcases.
Italians fight with each other?
They don't give a damn. No dudes. You see those movies? Like, what's that one called? The Goodfellas, man, them dudes are crazy. Especially the short guy. I was like, bro. Dude crazy, bro.
And rob
He reaped what he sold, though.
each other. Why don't we take that idea of not one giant boss, but bosses in sections and geographic areas, and we work together? That was essentially the birth of the 5 families, which ultimately sort of called the shots for the entire country, although every major city had their own families, from Philadelphia to Los Angeles, San Francisco. But a lot of them would still answer back, or at least seek the
They run the country.
influence and approval
Makes
of
sense.
New York.
Makes sense.
So Yeah, even though they're all supposed to get
Either I'm tripping or he just said they run the whole country. Bring it back, bro.
take that idea of not one giant boss, but bosses in sections and geographic areas, and we work together. That was essentially the birth of the five families, which ultimately sort of called the shots for the entire country, although every
See
major
that?
city had their.
They run the country, bro. Nobody's stupid out here, though. You know the president don't got the most power. Hell no. Who have the most power? You know what I'm saying? Hell no. Whoever have the most men, that's who have the most power. The most men. Under their fingertip. Other people say, "Oh, but the president has the U.S. Army. He has the U.S. Marshals and all that." I'm like, yeah. There's probably so many layers that you have to go through to even be able to even call a shot, though. To be honest, these street kings, whatever you want to call them, nobody in their way. No middleman, no layers. They tell them boys to go, them boys gonna go. No questions asked. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no. Oh, is this legal to do? Oh, let's get a voting in place to do this or that. So, man, please, them boys about to be up out there, man. That's
Families
all.
from Philadelphia to Los Angeles, San Francisco.
I believe them dudes run the whole country. Yeah, I believe them dudes run the whole country.
But a lot of them would still answer back.
That's if they don't get locked up, right? If they don't get locked up, yeah. The dudes come together, they run the whole thing, bro. Whole thing.
Or at least seek the influence and approval of New York.
If they still around.
So, even though they're all supposed to get along and they sit on a board of directors throughout the 70s, 80s, there
board
was
of
a
directors.
Lot of backstabbing. The federal government was aware and thus jumped to 1970. Okay, the mafia exists. The mob's a real thing. We've got some turncoats that showed us what it works like. How do
somebody
we get
snitched?
The guy who committed the crime, the guy in the middle, and the guy who made the call? That was it.
Somebody snitched.
But when they created RICO, isn't it right that they didn't immediately use it to its fullest potential?
Hello, my name is Aaron.
Hey, I wonder how many people snitched, though.
My name is Arnav Kapala.
I'm Jen Avery Beckem.
My name is Ajati Ansel.
My name is Samra.
Though I had a good experience.
Question is Puffy gonna snitch or whoever gang he a part of or whoever mob he a part of? I don't know.
Sure, when RICO was instated,
you better not.
In and of itself is a super complex kind of law. Not everybody understood it. I'm not sure the government knew exactly how to use RICO until early mid 1980s. They tried again, and it really was about getting the mob. So everybody knows the reason they even started this is to go after the mob and any groups sort of like that.
Okay.
So
in theory.
The
boy's crazy.
Who changes the game? Who gets it going?
I bet they're still out there, though.
Well, somebody probably everybody's heard of by this point was Rudolph Giuliani.
I don't know about that.
He stepped
I don't know who
into
that
the
is.
role of state attorney in New York in the early 1980s. He decided to wage a war against organized crime. He had money. He had a presence and a voice. And he used it to apply RICO to go after the five families, the bosses, and everybody underneath.
I guess they made him mad.
What did the first sort of success with RICO look like?
Putting away some or all of the bosses. And to an extent, after Rudy Giuliani's 1985 assault.
I heard of him.
Yes, the ones that were known. It should be noted, though, that the mob is not dumb either. And they had, not even a lame duck boss, but sort of like the facade, the de facto, oh, yeah, that guy's our boss. But really, the boss is somewhere else or already in prison.
Right.
So it wasn't this perfect thing. RICO applied, everybody goes to jail. it didn't.
Yeah, eventually, you can't trick people all the time. There's a saying, right? You could trick some of the people some of the time, but you can't trick all of the people all the time, or something like that. The boys weren't gonna fall for that jump, not every time. Nah.
Quite work out like that.
But it did significantly weaken the mob power structure by the 90s.
Absolutely. No doubt. Anytime you take out major figures successfully,
We got cameras everywhere now.
in court, it does. There's always that dark side. You create a power vacuum. There's always.
Gee, I bet the mob not even on social media, bro. Cause they know it's a bad idea, but
somebody waiting to take your crown. Look at
hell yeah,
ancient history.
the boy's ready.
The Greeks were
Take
on
your
top.
place.
They weren't going to be on top forever. By the 1980s, you had so many even smaller groups ready at any point when the opportunity presented itself. You already had the Mexican and Colombian
the boy's ready.
narco dealers.
Yeah, the boy's ready.
Burgeoning groups were rising up to come in. You had Eastern European groups already.
Sure, the boys got paper to get.
You had the African American. You had the Latino American.
I'm drooling thinking about this jump.
Groups already here.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's.
No, I'm just playing.
But those laws can then be applied to those new power structures that step in. Now people have figured out how to use them. Because the thing that I think is quite confusing is we say, oh, RICO was the charge that
drooling over the man, shoot, thinking about how much money you can make from that jump. Start drooling.
It's Genesis. But a lot of people now, casual observers, they say, well, I know RICO because I hear it in a lot of rap songs, or I saw the ASAP Rocky trial, or I saw that rapper or this group. But really what you
one of them dudes called himself RICO, and there's a few rappers that call themselves RICO.
There is an evolution of like smaller almost groups defined by ethnicity filled up this massive gap that were organized crime groups. And that's where you get things like the Bloods and the Crips, and then maybe from that you see how it links to modern day hip hop culture.
Yeah, all that.
It's just an interesting evolution.
That's why I listen to Bible rap, Christian rap sometimes, but mostly Bible rap. Cause that secular rap, terrible.
That
self-incriminating, all of that.
They're all following that same power structure.
All that.
You know what? It's almost like there's a curtain up or tunnel vision when the government is going after a group. For years it was.
Also, it is a Truman Show, like I said.
It's the
mob, curtain up.
Particularly the Italians. We're going after them. You kind of lose sight of the other groups that are just building and evolving. So by the time you had the rap kicked off, into the public persona by the mid 1980s, but there was a real thing with ethnic cultural groups developing behind the scenes.
Thank you so much for this, because I mean, it's just, I could sit here and listen to you all day. That's absolutely fascinating, and we really appreciate you coming on the program.
Sure, I appreciate both of y'all.
That's it from Diddy
I
on
learned
Trial
some
on the
things
BBC World Service YouTube
that
channel.
I did not know before.
If you'd like to send us a question or a message on WhatsApp, you can get us at +44 330 123 5551. That's +44 330 1.
Shoot, the question I'm gonna ask, y'all ain't gonna answer it anyways. I want y'all to drop some freaking names. Y'all not gonna do it though. So hey, it's a pretty good video. You know what I'm saying? I most likely might get me a copyright on this mode though, cause that look like something they'll have on TV. I can't even lie. But that's whatever. Me end this off with the verses like I normally do. I don't even know what to even think about this junk, bro. Some of the junk unbelievable that they brought up, like Michael Jackson and all of that. What the fuck? Talking about this person. I don't know whether I don't remember right now. I don't know whether they say he was trafficked by Michael Jackson or something. All I know is Michael Jackson name got brought up. I'm like, what the fuck? They bringing up people that's not even here anymore. Like, what the fuck? I don't know what to say. But let's look at the verses that I thought of in the middle of this. We got Ephesians 5:11. Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. And that's the ESV version. See, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to expose darkness. Even if it wasn't Puffy, he's probably associated with somebody that was doing it. So by exposing him, eventually you might expose the true final boss. That's if Puffy isn't the final boss, right? So this is good. This is good. Darkness is supposed to be exposed. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? Unlike what my man Kanye said the other day. That was crazy. What the fuck? Dude going crazy on people. Okay, we got Luke 8:17, right? That one says, "For nothing is hidden that will not be made manifest, nor is anything secret that will not be known and come to light." And that's the ESV version, right? So nothing is gonna remain in the dark. It's just not. It will come to light. You know, looks like that was happening with this whole Puffy thing. They brought Druski in it, Odell Jr. Oh man, who else? They brought MJ in it. What the freak? MJ passed away like freaking over a decade, probably a Dane. Was it 2 decades? No, I wouldn't say 2 decades ago, but she was getting there. We already in 2025. In 4 years, yeah, it'll be 2 decades that MJ passed away. This is crazy. And they brought his name in it. Ain't that some joke? Can't believe KRS, bro. Crazy, man. Crazy, man. Y'all look back at it. I mean, my junk all video over an hour. I don't want it to be too long, man. Because these junks take a while to upload. I don't got the best Wi-Fi, dog. Got that cheap junk. You know what I'm saying? Got that cheap junk. Damn, Jay-Z popped up on 2 different videos, bruh. Damn. Wait. Do they got comments? Okay. We got a few. Gotta let it load up. Hold up. The BBC should cover all of the offenders they've employed over the. What are you talking about? And somebody agree. Somebody else agree. Someone said they won't. Somebody said keep your courage. Huh? Sometimes you never know. Stay positive. If enough like the comment, who knows? Right on. Who do they employ? I don't pay attention to this stuff. Who been working for them? So Netflix is gonna make the craziest documentary on. I'm surprised they didn't do it yet. They already been did one for on Tubi. I didn't want to watch it though. The way I see it, I wasn't there, so nah, man. I ain't about to help support something that I don't even know what the heck they even stand for. Most likely they don't stand for the Most High. You know what I'm saying? I know people like, well, it ain't about that. It ain't the right time to even bring that up. Sure, it's always the right time. The heck you talking about? Shoot. People like bringing up the worldly way they live in every topic. Why can't I bring up trying to be godly in every topic? Why not? And it's become cartoonish and surreal at this point. I'm saying, like, what the heck? Somebody said Diddy's done. Probably. Somebody said you have to wonder if the guy in this video is a relative. That's what I'm saying myself. Because he said that it's so hard to serve someone in jail. I'm saying, can't y'all just get visitation and sit down with him? You know what I'm saying? At one of those tables that's made of metal or whatever the heck it's made out of. Hard plastic. That is. They act like that. They act like they sit down with the man. He gonna do some WWF job up. And like he gonna be handcuffed the whole time. Like that is almost impossible. No, they said that is almost possible. That is not true. And an attorney would know that. It's too easy. All you have to do is go upstairs where the sheriff department is located to serve people on your behalf in circumstances like this, and the sheriff will serve for you. People in jail are always served court papers and restraining orders by the sheriff on the behalf of someone. you can ask someone in jail, is this true? Oh, I ain't know that. Yeah, I don't know. So about 1053, it's a great word. I'm glad people still use it. It's cavalcade. There's no cavalcade. I don't know what that even is. I guess I could search it up. Hold up. They said another word earlier that I didn't know. Talking about, what is that? Circumstantial evidence? Which dude never explained what that was. I'm like, bro, you could have explained it, dude. For people that don't know, I don't know. I don't know everything. Okay, they said this is a formal procession of people walking in horseback or riding in vehicles. Who the heck have those these days? I don't know too many people that have that. I mean, the rich folks might have that. No. Because if we trying to get it, we're going to get a ticket. We're going to get all kind of junk. Imagine telling the police officer, hey, man, I'm trying to save on gas. So I got 4 ponies to pull me on through town. I'm like, nah, bro. You might even get it. You might end up getting arrested, bro. So as the allegations had me laughing. Hey, I don't know what to say. That was this whole lawsuit is ridiculous. Hey, I don't know what to say myself. I thought it was just me. That was, has David given his side of the story? Somebody said, are you slow? Somebody said, well, if his son is involved. Oh, so it's probably his son. If he has, I didn't even know he had kids. So I said, all those filing lawsuits should be fully prepared with the truthful and factual evidence, and they should get in line accordingly. As the suits pile up, we will then see how they play out in the court of law. In a court of law, conjecture beforehand is subjective at best, as we do not currently know on both sides where the truth starts and ends. That's what I'm saying myself. I just thought I was alone in this. Critical thinking and objectivity is needed to stay out of the weeds of subjectivity and all that it comes with. So they should hire me. I already solved the case. Everyone's receipts are online. I said that myself, that the internet was going to find out before these cats. Somebody said, well said. Somebody said, right? These guys better hope they scrub their social media, because if they boldly claim they never been a place, they better hope there's not a pic of them. Facts. That's truthful right there. Exactly, because I ain't believe in anything without proof. I said the same thing. But this is the internet. I said the same thing, man, that the internet gonna find out before these people. But these people act like they can't find out stuff. The freak? Y'all supposed to be professionals. Y'all act like y'all don't know this and know that. Man, and then y'all act like y'all can't serve the dude with the papers. Y'all know exactly where he at. Get your behind out there. Or you're scared that he got the whole damn place under his rule. That's how they acting. They acting like he went in there and just took the whole place over. That's one dude. Y'all can. That's one dude, man. Look at what happened to Rihanna. Was anyone even questioned? He's put Rihanna. I heard that is how you say it, Rihanna. Was anybody questioned? That's a good question. Seems like only Chris got in trouble for that job. Good question. I think I might like that comment. Good question. Seems like nobody was speaking. Yeah. Someone said, I'm confused. Me too. Somebody said, oh, you had me at content warning. They said so much stuff at the beginning. But that disclaimer, that might freaking get my whole job demonetized. I'm like, why you saying all these words, bro? Man, they probably got a partnership with YouTube. I'm not known, so they ain't gonna have no partnership with me. They about to let my job just probably get pushed under the rug so people don't even see it, man. That's faked up. But hey, I'm still trying to make an effort. I'm trying, damn it. I'm trying. Very helpful video. Most of people in their old age have problems with leg cramps and pain, but do not know which vitamin deficiency is the real cause. Thank you for a complete and clear summary of the top 7 essential vitamins to keep your legs healthy. We'll definitely share this video. What the heck? I think this person was on the wrong video. It happens. I think it was on the wrong video. They left the wrong comment on the wrong video. That was great video. We'll wait to see if there is another one next week. I'm saying, I've been seeing these jumps for months. I was ignoring it because I thought it would be over by now. I'm like, damn. I was like, freak it, bro. I'm just gonna do me a little bit of a reaction to this jump. Like, goodness. It's a LOL on the BBC trying to have a moral high ground covering essay and PDF files when they have covered up Jimmy Sevilla's crimes for years, laughing my butt off. Pathetic. I heard about that in the comments. Not a particular name, but I heard it was covering up other people that did similar stuff. Somebody said Pish. What's that, Pish? I don't know what that is. But I'm about to get up out of here, man. This video already too long. You know, my limit is normally like an hour because, my boy, these things get big in size when it comes to the file size. And the bigger the file size, the slower it uploads. It uploads so freaking slow. Well, not all that slow, but it kind of do. Because I don't got no fiber optic or none of that. But I end it with this, saying Jesus is King, John 3:36. You know what I'm saying? Look those up. John 14:6. And Philippians 2:12 through 13. Y'all be good, man. Peace be upon y'all and blessings. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this whole thing, man. This don't make no sense to me, man. Not really. Might be setting a kid up. He probably... Wouldn't that be crazy if he's completely innocent? Not completely, but what if he's only guilty of the whole Cassie thing and nothing else? Wouldn't that be something? Because I don't understand how you get locked up for motherfucking oil. A Cambodian milk, bro. I don't know. I mean, I understand the Cambodian milk, because that is, you know, illegal. I almost said illegal, but it's illegal to have that. You ain't supposed to have that at all. But yeah, I'm out, man.